What's up? What's up? What's up? Hey, out there in YouTube land. Anybody with me? Are we live? Anybody with me? How are we doing?
Yeah.
We're here.
Yes, yes, yes. Somebody hit me up in the chat. Let me know that we're live. Yes, yes, yes.
My family's live.
Oh, yes, they are. What's happening, Tony? Daddy Dutch. Alvin, I see you guys. How y'all doing? All right, so we are good to go. Ladies, gentlemen, man, I am so honored tonight to introduce these awesome ladies of barbecue to you guys. My boy Bean, what's happening, baby? We're still missing one. She was headed to Las Vegas. Amari Serrata headed to Vegas. She may have gotten the time a little messed up, but when she does show up, I will bring her back on the show. So once again, we've got some awesome ladies that you're going to be hearing from tonight. Be sure, man, to bring in your insight. Ask these ladies some questions. I know there are plenty of ladies out there that really are a little intimidated about barbecue, both in the backyard and definitely competition. These ladies are here to tell you that it's a piece of cake. They make it look easy. So without further ado, we're gonna start. From up top with Jackie Milligan. Ladies, please introduce yourselves.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jackie Milligan from San Antonio, Texas. I'm head cook with Team Chupacabra. Been cooking for the past, I would say, 3.5 years. Hitting the trail.
Awesome, awesome. Next we have Yadi Robles, and if you recognize that last name, it's barbecue royalty. But I will let her tell you for herself.
Hi, I'm Yadi Robles. Happy to be here. Yes, Fred is my husband with Real Valley Meat. I started my own cooking team about a year ago, Barbecue Wise, The Saucy Secret. We had started a talk show, and that's how we got into it. So I've been competing by myself for about a year. COVID kind of got in the way there, but we'll be back and running pretty soon. Actually, this coming weekend. Happy to be here.
Awesome, awesome. And last but definitely not least, I met this young lady on YouTube a few months ago and been watching her awesome videos. And when we came up with the idea of bringing on some ladies, she was definitely one of the ladies that I was hoping would say yes. And she absolutely did. Sylvie Curry. And many of you have seen her on that barbecue show that just ended last year sometime. The what is it? Great American Showdown or Shootout? Which is it?
The American Barbecue Showdown.
The Great American Barbecue Showdown. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Sylvie Curry.
How you doing? Already introduced. I've been doing barbecue since many years, 2006. And I was on a team previously with 3 other guys. Back in 2011, 2012, I went solo. And I've been solo ever since. Changed my name from the previous name to Lady of Q. Like I said, my husband's just my driver and he runs my boxes. I do everything else.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So let's start, ladies. First thing I want to know is, at what point during your barbecue career, what point did you decide, hey Fred, hey Tim, hey team, I want to do some cooking myself? At what point did that kick in, and what made that kick in?
For me, that's an easy answer. As I mentioned before, I was on a team with 3 other guys and they all dropped off. So it just left me by myself and I wanted to continue competing. So I said, what the heck? So I just started doing it on my own.
And you had absolutely no fears or no concerns. You just felt you could hang with the big dog.
I felt I could hang with the big dogs. And, you know, I'm very independent and organized, and so it was just easy to do. I kept all the guys on track, so it was like, well,
when you were dealing with those guys, were you already fairly experienced?
In the beginning, no. In 2006, I knew nothing about barbecue competitions. And Neil Stroud, a big mister, gave me he gave me a call because I had a blog and I posted pictures of some ribs or something like that. And I was in LA at the time and he was in LA. So he says, hey, you want to be on a team? And it's like, okay. And so I did a lot of investigating and trying to see what recipes are and get ideas. And here we are.
That is awesome. Jackie, same question.
Oh, I have a totally different answer. I was not a fan of cook-offs or barbecue. Started back when Tim was competing first with some guys from work. He would ask me, why don't you bring Matthew? I'm going to be at this cook-off. He'd had a lot of fun. Matthew was like 5. I would have to travel, not knowing where I'm going. Okay, wasn't familiar with Texas. So I would have to look at a map, figure out where am I going, what time am I going. It's hot. Texas heat, Texas heat could be 100 degrees. I'm there all day, didn't know anybody, didn't talk to any women, didn't see any women. And I was stuck there all day until awards, and that ends pretty late. So I'd smell like smoke. We didn't eat because you don't eat at comps. Even though you're cooking food, you just don't eat at comps. So not a fan. When he put Matthew in the kids cook, I felt like a third wheel. I wasn't doing anything. I was just kind of helping, putting things away, putting things together, little miscellaneous things. And I felt out of place. So one day, Tim said, why don't you enter the dessert category? And I figured, okay, I could do that. I know how to make cheesecake. So I worked on my recipe. Bam, first place, Crown Royal apple cheesecake. And you tried it. It's a fan favorite.
Yes, it was. I do remember.
Yeah. So I kept doing desserts, kept traveling with them. I was like, okay, I could do this. So I built the courage to do opens, Chef's Choice opens. I did my bacon wrap stuffed shrimp. Bam, first place. Again, over and over. You tried this stuff too. So I told Tim, I want to do a cook-off. I want to compete against the guys. And so I did. Nobody expected me to win. I was a nobody. I didn't look like the typical barbecue competitor. Everybody else was all these big, tall cowboys. My first cook-off was at Canyon Lake. It was like 112 degrees. I almost died of heat exhaustion. And I reserved that day. Woo! So from that moment on, I told Tim, I want to learn as much as I can and be the best that I can. I can do this. So he signed me up with your class for Mother's Day. That was my Mother's Day gift. The following weekend, I competed in Jordanton, and I grand that cook-off.
That is awesome. I wasn't leaning towards that class thing, but I will take it. That is awesome.
But awesome. There was just something in me that once you get bit by that bug, that winning competition bug, like you turn into this different person, like Spider-Man. Like Peter Parker was a nobody. He was just an average guy. He gets bit, and then he's got these superpowers. So that's how I was feeling. I was feeling great. And so it just took off. Alton said, hey, we need to cook for the Team Chupacabra throwdown that we were having in Beeville. Tim said, oh, Jackie will cook it. And he let me cook it. And I've been with Team Chupacabra ever since.
Yes, we're going to get to accomplishments shortly because you guys have rocked some. You guys have done some massive things, had some massive calls at huge cook-offs. But Ms. Robles, same question, lady.
Well, for me, I wasn't really involved with the barbecue scene for a long time. Fred was doing it on his own, and then he started asking me to help and be part of the team. So I started helping him out, and what I started doing was really just observing a lot of the stuff that he was doing, right? And at the time, he was doing his classes and all of that, and he didn't want me to compete. Mostly because he didn't want me to compete against him, right? So he didn't want us to do the same cook-offs. So he started me off with the added money events for the IBCA added money events. So I did a couple of those. Didn't do so well.
He pretty much just threw you to the wolves because those are some of the biggest cook-offs.
Yeah. So the second showdown that I did, I think the first one was when it was in San Angelo. And the second one was in Kingsville, I think, that big one in Kingsville. And I actually beat him at brisket. And
I remember that.
So I still brag about that, right?
Yeah.
So I beat him at brisket. And so after that, he still wanted me to help. We were doing more Taste BS and learning a little more, helping him out a little more. And he does all the cooking, but I do, the garnish and help him with other stuff to plate. And then last year he decided he got into the Houston Rodeo, and that same weekend was Smoking on the Rio here in the Valley, and that's a big cook-off we always go to every year. He couldn't make it, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna cook that one by myself. So I just hooked up the Jambo to my SUV and I did Smoking on the Rio. That was the very first cook-off I did by myself without Fred, and I had never lit a fire by myself that event. I didn't place anything, but for me, just to start up that pit, with live fire was an accomplishment for me. That I got to do it, from start to finish all by myself, even pulling the pit and everything. And so after that, I've been looking for cook-offs here and there. I actually placed in one here in the Valley in La Jolla a while back, and I got like the 4th place brisket. So I'm trying it out, and trying to do as much as I can. I've learned a lot from him. He doesn't know that I steal his secrets behind his back, that I'm watching what he's doing. So I'm looking forward to competing a little more and doing well. I want to win. I want to win.
Oh, absolutely. And don't worry, we all wish we could watch Fred. But he plays it pretty close to his chest, to his vest. So awesome. Just saw a question. Give me 1 second. Before we go further, ladies, do you guys taste while you cook and adjust, or do you just stick to a recipe as you're cooking?
Well, I stick to a process, and it's not necessarily a recipe. After you've done it so often, you know exactly time-wise how things be, what they're going to taste like. And I may do a little bit of tasting, or my husband may do some tasting, but typically I don't taste. Barbecues. I've been doing it so long that I really don't have the taste of barbecue anymore. Like you said, it's not really a recipe. To me, it's a process.
Jackie?
Same here. I don't taste. I know exactly how much rubs are going in. I know exactly the process, like Sylvie says. If anything, I'll taste the sauce right when I'm doing the ribs, the sauce on the ribs, I'll take a bite, and there's times where I'll adjust then right before I'm gonna box. But other than that, chicken, I don't even taste when I turn it in. I just do a little blessing, hope it hits, and if it doesn't, taste as there. But in the brisket, I don't taste. I'll just see the texture, the tenderness.
Yeah.
And actually, like with brisket or something like that, you know how it is.
Yeah.
When you make that slice, it's like,
yeah,
you know.
So true. Yadi?
Yeah, I probably the only one that I do taste is the brisket, just to see if if I want to add something to it. But yeah, same thing. It's a process. You know what's going into it, and if you've done it several times, you know what it's supposed to taste like at the end. So if it doesn't taste like that at the end, then you messed up somewhere, and there's nothing you can do. So yeah, it's a process. Taste after. There's really not much you can do during the cook to change anything. So that's just yeah.
God, these ladies are spitting knowledge. I mean, some of the things they're saying are coming straight from the heart, because I totally agree with them. At competitions, I rarely taste anything, even my end product. I will go cook-offs without actually tasting what I turned in. The only time I'll start tasting if we reach a spot or a period where things aren't doing what I think they should be doing in terms of results, then I will get to taste it. But my wife usually has to force me. Alicia usually has to force me to take a bite or something, because and this relates to another question I saw a little while ago. Somebody asking, why don't cooks eat at cook-offs? And for me, it's simply because the smoke, the meats, everything, being around all that for so long, I'll actually lose my sense of taste and most of my appetite. And I'm a big guy. I'm used to eating a lot. But at cook-offs, man, I just do not have the appetite because I'm around that food so much. So I do not want to taste, especially my stuff. And then another thing, I'm always so shocked at how good somebody else's barbecue is when I do get to taste somebody else's barbecue at a cook-off, because it's so different than what I'm used to mine. But no, I do not want to taste mine. That is awesome. Here's a great question, ladies. A great question from Heather Pena. I'm competing next weekend solo for the first time. What can y'all tell Heather to help her out? Thank you for your question, Heather.
Organization. Exactly.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I have like 3 to-do lists that I use. What I need to take, what I need for my meats or whatever, seasonings, rubs, everything, and then other stuff that you might need. It just depends also if you're cooking without a trailer, if you're just cooking out of the back of your truck on a pit. Make a to-do list of things that you're going to need, essentials, and then things that might be necessary.
Yeah, I agree. You have to be OCD with your process and your steps. I have a whiteboard in the trailer, and stick to the times, have a plan. Having a plan, Heather, would be a good thing, and stick to it. If you're going to make some changes, write some notes about it.
The other thing is to make sure anything you can do in advance of getting to the competition, do it. Don't go to a competition if you're cooking solo and say you're going to mix your sauces or things like that. And I'm not sure what sanctioning body, but with KCBS, you can trim all your meats before you get there. So do all that trimming and stuff in advance so you're not bogged down by that.
Very, very, very good suggestions. All those are so on point. Organization is foremost. If you're looking to have a smooth competition, you have to be very organized. Like Sylvie said, whatever you can do ahead of time, get it done. Nothing has to be harder than somebody out there chopping wood in the middle of a cook-off. I mean, man, chop your wood at home. Mix your sauces at home. Mix your injections at home. All this stuff just eases your relaxes your mind, eases your thought process, less to think of, less to do, and it will allow you to focus more on the things you actually have to do at that event, as opposed to doing stuff you could have done 3 days ago. So organization is absolute must. Guys,
And then
gals,
just go have fun.
yes,
Don't put so much
yes,
pressure on yourself. Go have fun, learn as much as you can. If there's experienced cooks around you that let you talk to them, and share tips, take it. Ask and take it. Any of that helps, but just have fun. Just do it. Do it.
Yeah, don't second guess yourself.
Yeah.
Good off.
One of the other things that's important is if you have a process and a plan, stick to it.
Mhm.
And the only time I change up something if something goes wrong, but otherwise, it's like I don't go to a contest and listen to somebody else say, I do this, and then I try to do it there at a comp. I'm going to practice that first.
yes, absolutely. Ladies from John Tompkins, have you judged their comps? And is there any value for a potential for a coming competition cook? Is there any value for having that person judge prior to competing?
I would say
think so.
yes. Yeah, definitely be a judge. It's great. I would judge final table, so you kind of hash out all the other boxes. So you get a feel of what other people are turning in and what is actually making it to the final table. Yes.
I think that's very important because even in a KCBS contest, when you judge, you see what people are turning in. You see how everything is proportional, how it looks in the box, well, for KCBS, how the garnish looks, and you get an idea of exactly what it is the judges are looking at. And that's very important.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, to date, what has been the highlights of your barbecue journey to date? What has been the high point?
Hmm. Well, for me, the American Barbecue Showdown has been the high point for me. And that was one of the most important things I got out of that was not just competing myself, but competing with other cooks who do not compete in regular competitions. And the realization that there's a great wealth of information, skill, flavor profiles, and things like that, and people who do not compete regularly in sanctioning bodies. And I think a lot of times you'll have us as competitors, we get very snobbish and we think, well, what are they doing on that contest? They don't even cook. But the thing is, they don't cook in competitions, they cook at home. They cook for families and friends. They may have restaurants, they can cook.
And going back to that barbecue showdown, I was hoping somebody would ask the question so I wouldn't have to ask it, but I'm going to ask. Why is it that y'all wore the same clothes every day?
Very simple. We had multiple of the same outfit every day. So the wardrobe had like 3, 4, 5 sets of clothing, whereas we cooked one day, we turned it in, they washed it, and they gave us another set. And the reason why they did that was for continuity of the editing, so that if they wanted to use something from another time period, another episode, they could slip it in and use it.
Okay, there you go. All right, that explains it. Because I watched it and it just bothered me. I was like, come on, something is not right with this. And I tend to be one of those that will sit down and analyze something for no good reason. I mean, I'm just silly that way. But that makes sense. Yadi, your highlight.
My highlight, I've been part of a lot of great comps that Fred has done very well. I'm glad to have been able to experience those those big wins, you know, the World Food and American Royal and all those. But for me, if we're talking about me solo, I would have to say, you know, those times that I beat him in brisket. You know, it was actually 2 comps where I beat him in brisket, and that's the only one that counts. You know, he brags a lot about his brisket, and I learned how to cook brisket from him, so I beat him twice, and I would have to say that that's my solo highlight.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know of Fred Robles, he's an American Royale champion, and he cooks probably one of the baddest briskets around town. So if you're ever able to beat him in any way, shape, form, or fashion in brisket, you've accomplished something. So that is definitely, those are definitely feathers in your cap. Yeah.
And I
Miss
tell
Jackie.
him, don't get me mad, because I will sell your brisket recipe to the highest bidder.
Hey, send it my way.
Highest bidder gets his recipe.
And before we go any further, Jackie, you're up next. I want to introduce Amari Serrata. All right, another awesome cook. She had some issues getting on the site, but here she is. Welcome aboard, Amari.
Hi, how are y'all doing? First I want to apologize for being late. We just landed, so I apologize for being late, but thank you for having me on the show.
It is my honor and pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, Amari just flew from Texas to Las Vegas. She and her husband, Matthias, another awesome cook, they took a ton of money, and they're planning on bringing back 3 times as much. So let's wish them luck. In the meantime, let's finish with Jackie, and we'll get into your introduction, Marty.
Okay.
Jackie, what's your highlight so far?
To date, my highlight in the comp world would be going to the World Food Championships that was held in Dallas back in before COVID, 2019. It's a 2-part highlight. I won this baby. I made Final 10 to go to the World Food Championship. I worked really hard for that. But tied to that was winning the firewoman competition. I competed against other women across the country. There was 4 or 5 of us, and I won it. And I've never worked harder for anything in my entire life, ever. And when I won that, I was like so happy, so happy. That would be my highlight of my cooking career.
Awesome. So I happened to be at the World Food Championship, competing against you last. Was it? Nah. No. It was year before last, right?
2019.
Yeah, it was 2019, and it was so impressive watching you do your thing, watching you walk up there to get those calls, and I mean, it couldn't have happened to a better person.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you, these competitions, they are tough. Very often, you know, you're competing against seasoned cooks, cooks with serious accomplishments. So to be able to beat them in any category is definitely massive. So kudos once again.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Marty a chance to introduce herself. A little bit about you, Marty. How did you get into cooking by yourself?
Well, actually, I've been, suggesting to Matthias some different recipes, I guess. And of course, he's set on his stuff. So I was all like, well, let me give it a shot then. Let me try these recipes. Using his techniques, I tried my recipes and they seem to do pretty good. And that's how it all got started.
Okay, awesome.
Years.
Yes. And what's your highlight to date?
My highlight would be winning, I think it was in 2018 and 2019, both years back to back. grand champion at the Bee County Livestock Show, which also got me an automatic entry into the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo Barbecue Cook-Off. My first year was the best. I was able to get on stage. Although we didn't, I don't remember exactly what we placed, but I was able to get on stage at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo with all the other top cooks that were there. I was just ecstatic just to be there. And then last year we tied for reserve grand champion at the Houston Livestock Show. Those have been my highlights, but I enjoy it. I enjoy it.
And if you don't know anything about the Houston Livestock Show, in terms of numbers, it is the largest cook-off here in the state of Texas in terms of numbers. It is not what we consider sanctioned by one of our normal sanctioning bodies, but number-wise, it is massive. The entire site takes up acres and acres of property. So again, to be able to win there, to be able to do anything there is big time. Is big time. Now, as we look at where we are, what are some of your goals in terms of barbecue? Do you have any goals? Anything you want to do? Any different avenues you might want to take?
Right now, I just kind of, since I don't cook that often, I just kind of want to take it slow and still continue to attend cook-offs, here and there. Hopefully, maybe I can get a better pit, although it's kind of hard to let go of the one that I use because it's seasoned. I really like that one. But I just want to continue hitting some local cook-offs and maybe be able to expand a little more in Texas here.
But I feel like there's still so much more to accomplish as women. We're doing a great job. Me personally, I still want to grow. There's so much more to learn, and I want to help expand the Chupacabra brand across the nation. Those are my goals.
And for those of you who may not know, everybody should know, Chupacabra is a line of barbecue products that are pretty delicious. I don't think there's a recipe that I do on YouTube that does not contain something from Chupacabra. All right, they should begin sending me product any moment now. All right? But seriously, they've got some awesome products. And if you haven't heard of them before, just Google Chupacabra barbecue rubs, and they'll come up. And many cooks are using them to win big time on competitions.
And it's a well-rounded rub. You can use it at home too.
Yes, ma'am, you can. Yes. Yadi?
I just, cook a little more. 2020 really wasn't, much of a competition year for anybody.
For anybody.
And I was just getting started too. So definitely try to get out there and cook a little more. Like Jackie said, there's so much room to grow. I feel like I'm just getting started, so there's so much I still want to do. Not any specific goal, but just, cook more.
Yes, absolutely. Miss Sylvie.
I guess one of my specific goals is, like the other ladies, is I want to cook more contests. Last year, I only cooked 3 contests at the beginning of the year. And so there's nothing in Southern California, Nevada, or Arizona to cook since that time period. So I want to cook more. And one of the things that I get out of cooking more is I get people to see me as a woman out there competing and competing solo. And so again, there's a couple of young ladies who they're little girls and stuff like that who really appreciate that, I'm out there cooking and Miss Sylvie's cooking. And they're sort of like little girls that I've mentored along the way. And I want to keep on bringing them into the barbecue arena so that they can cook also and know that they can cook even though they are women.
Yes. Now, is there a cook-off associated with the Garlic Festival?
There was 2020. That was was not held in 2019. Remember they had that shooting?
The shooting.
Right, they had the shooting. So I don't know if they planned on bringing it back in 20. I haven't seen anything 2021, so I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't come back again.
Had you cooked that one before?
I'd never cooked that one, and actually I was going to cook it, and I changed my mind last minute because I'd gone to another cook-off in Santa Clara, which is about 500 miles from me, and I didn't want to go the next weekend and travel back that area again. So I dropped out of that contest, thankfully.
Okay.
I like to
And,
add one thing.
Yes.
I like to add one thing with like what Sylvie said. The barbecue has a good sense of community. Everyone can participate. Men, women, kids. The kids are doing great.
They're pretty awesome.
So yeah, it's for everybody. It's not just a guy thing anymore.
No, I mean, you think about it. If somebody had allowed you to cook and compete as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, imagine where you'd be at this point.
Yeah.
You'd be a Fred Robles at this point. Absolutely.
I'd be teaching him a thing or two.
Without a doubt. And I'm not sure, Marty, if I gave that question to you. Any?
What's that?
Goals for the future.
Yes, like I mentioned, just want to be able to cook more and expand more, maybe here in Texas, and just hit a few more comps, and continue cooking and enjoying time with the barbecue family.
Yes.
It's a big community, a big family. Everyone helps each other out, and it's a very tight-knit family. And I enjoy spending time at the cook-offs and seeing everybody and all my friends and everything. But like I said, I would like to expand more and just be able to compete a little bit more than what I have been doing.
And I will tell you guys and gals out there, I haven't been involved in a whole lot of other sports like this one. But I don't know if there's another one where people will give you the shirt off their backs if you require it at a cook-off because you forgot something or you dropped something or you lost something. If someone else has it, they will give it to you. Even though that particular item might help you beat them, they will give it to you. I mean, I just do not know where else that happens. So when you speak of community, it is absolutely awesome. If you're on the road and you run into engine trouble, car trouble, and you put a blast out on Facebook, blah, 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 on one of the barbecue chats, if there's somebody in that area, you have got help as quickly as possible. It doesn't get any better than this. It doesn't get any better than this. It's an awesome community. Let's switch. Let's jump to the other side of barbecuing. Who does most of the cooking at home? Who does most of the grilling? We're talking about, when I say cooking, I'm talking about outside on that grill. Who does most of it?
I do all of it.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Matthew does all the grilling outside, and Tim, mainly Matthew. Though.
Well, Matthew is Jackie's son. What is Matthew? 17, 18?
He's 30. He's 18. He was cooking since he was 5, and he's competed in Jordanton against Tim.
Awesome.
Next week. So yeah,
awesome.
He does a lot of
gals, start him young. Start them young, and they will be stars by the time they're 21.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't do any cooking at home. You're lucky if you get leftovers or a salad.
Yachty?
Well, we don't do a whole lot of grilling at home. We do, but it's not like every day or anything. But I am so lucky to have a Traeger. You just throw it in there. By the time you know it, the thing's done, and you make a couple of sides and eat up. That's it. You know. Yeah, so Traeger's good. I like the Traeger. Yeah. So we take turns.
If you don't have a
It's not
Traeger,
always
folks,
me. It's
you
not
need to
always
get
me.
one.
Me and Fred take turns.
I'd have to follow with what Yadi said too. We have a Traeger at home, and I do most of the grilling. When it comes to backyard cooking or grilling at home, it's me, because Matias, he's all about the competition side of it. And if there's no trophy or any winnings at the end, then he don't even want to do it. But I do most of the grilling, but I can say inside cooking, it's him. He'll cook on the stove and stuff, but any grilling, it's me at home with the Traeger. I love that Traeger.
I absolutely love mine. We run our Traegers 3-4 times a week sometimes, and we're cooking everything on it. So absolutely awesome. Now, if you've got special guests, important people, I'm coming to your house. What's your go-to meal for an important person like myself? What are you going to put on the grill for me?
Fajita tacos. That's what you get, CJ.
Hey, don't bring up old stuff. All right? Do not bring up old stuff. I need a fajita class. All right, so I can watch you cook some fajitas. Guys, and for those of you who don't know, I've cooked fajitas twice at competitions in our entire 10 years of cooking. The first time I did it, they called 23 numbers. I was number 20. I was number 23rd. All right. A couple of weeks ago, we cooked it at the first CVA competition. They called 17 numbers. I was number 16. And I felt pretty good. I wasn't dead last. All right. But it seemed like I'm always running into issues when it comes to fajitas. But your go-to meal, if I'm coming to your house, what are you going to cook?
To me,
Mine would have to be.
probably
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead, Sylvie.
some fish, be it salmon or a whole fish or something like that. I'm going to
You
go
had
with.
me at salmon. I love salmon. Yeah, we eat salmon a couple of times a month. Marty?
Mine would have to be riblets and brisket with some rice, beans, and some avocado. You know, the whole works. But definitely on the grill would be brisket and the riblets.
All right, I will kill those riblets. I do so many briskets, man. I do not even enjoy brisket anymore. But I will kill the riblets. Jackie, I'm coming to your house. What's on the menu?
Probably Tex-Mex, Mexican food, not barbecue.
I will eat it.
I make some good enchiladas,
Yeah, I will eat it.
and I make
Absolutely.
some really good chicken green enchiladas.
Yadi, here's a question for you.
Same question?
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
Am I still doing
I
the
can't.
keto?
Yeah, I can't find it. Yeah. All right, there you go.
Am I still doing the keto menu? Well, I'm not eating keto right now. I should be. I have those, what is it, the COVID-19 pounds that I gained, during the quarantine. I should get back into keto. I haven't been doing the meals. I have people asking me every day if I'm going to start selling again the prep meals. But if anybody ever wants to do barbecue keto, I have some good recipes for you. As a matter of fact, there is a barbecue sauce that you can use while you're doing keto. It's actually a Head & Country low sugar. It has a sugar substitute in there that you can put on your meat for barbecue if you're doing keto. So I really liked that.
Folks, I told you, these ladies are well versed in a variety of areas, man. Now we're talking keto. Little did I know, and which leads right into my next segment. What do you guys? You're also entrepreneurs. You've been doing things outside of barbecue, or whether or not they're related to barbecue. Jackie, I remember you were doing demos in Walmart, which I just thought was just fantastic, man. How did that come about?
I love working at Walmart. So winning the Flyer Woman Challenge at the World Food Championship opened the door. They actually reached out to me and they said, we're looking for some cooks that would be interested in partnering with us to do Walmart demonstrations. And at first I was like, do I really want to do that on the weekends? Will it interfere with the competitions? But after giving it some thought, I said, yeah, sign me up. And it was the biggest door that opened for me. We had recipes to go by that we would go through. We could alter it a little bit, make it presentable, make it a little twerk here and there. I did that for about 3 months, and then COVID hit.
Beautiful, beautiful. Walmart, man, I would jump in Walmart. I wouldn't mind throwing on an apron and standing there in front of that frying pan, frying up some sausages and sticking them, handing them out to you. I'm all for that. Let's make that happen. So have your people give my people a call, Jackie, and then see if you can't get me in there. Miss Yadi.
Well, we've got Real Valley Meat, the butcher shop. It's our butcher shop, a meat market. That's what we got going on. We're trying to expand into some other things, always looking for opportunities to grow. I'm a business person at heart. I actually have a business degree, so I just love that, opening up businesses and stuff. We have a couple of them right now. But yeah, so most of the time I'm at the butcher shop, so not only do I, cook barbecue, but I'm learning more every day about, different meat and where it comes from and how you cut it and, all of that stuff. So definitely a good experience to have a butcher shop.
Awesome. Guys, Real Valley Meats. I've tried to order briskets from Real Valley Meats. Fred refuses to send me briskets, especially if we're going to the same comp. He doesn't want me to cook those quality briskets of his. So he'll send me everything else, but not a brisket. But if you're really looking for some quality meats and you're in that neck of the woods down south, you absolutely want to check out Real Valley Meats. He's got some awesome stuff.
Yeah. We have some really good. We have a good variety of comp meats. Yeah, and if you get with us in time, we can definitely get stuff ready for you. We're in the Rio Grande Valley, Weslaco, Texas.
Awesome. Miss Sylvie?
Yes, sir. What am I into?
Yes.
I'm retired, and I've been retired for nearly 10 plus years, so I don't want to work again. So I don't have any businesses I'm trying to promote or anything like that I do. The biggest thing that I'm involved in is the California Barbecue Association. I'm involved with them. For the past 4 years, I was on the board, and I gave it up this year. And so I just like doing that type of work and working with charities and stuff like that as far as getting barbecue out there.
Awesome. So are you looking to get into running cook-offs or just advising?
For
in the California Barbecue Association?
Mainly advising, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't want to work again. So anything that I perceive as being work, then
yes.
It's I don't want to do it. I want to do things that I enjoy.
Yes, I absolutely understand. And Marty,
Yes, sir. We have our Pit Life merch and our Fired Up merch. My husband Matias embroiders caps for a lot of the barbecue competition teams. He also does it for businesses and other different entities, not only barbecue. He has expanded to other areas, but mainly we have our Pit Life merchandise and apparel, and also the Fired Up gear.
awesome guys. I've seen those. I've seen some of the hats and some of the gear that Matias and Marty have created, and they're awesome. And I will tell you, I don't wear hats because when you've got a head this beautiful, you do not want to cover it up. And people remind me of that all the time. Don't put anything on that head; it looks too good. But in the very near future, I will be reaching out to you guys because Alicia and I have been talking about getting some swag that we could give away as prizes for different things on this show, as well as in some of the videos we do. So be on the lookout for that in the very near future, based on how quickly Matias and Marty can get things out there. We're going to make that happen.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. They make some awesome gear. They make some awesome gears. So I understand that some of you are cooking this weekend. Where are we going?
I'm going to Concan.
You're going to Concan, all right? Concan is a beautiful location right there on the river. I'm staying closer to home. Yadi, where are you going?
I'll be competing in a Champions Barbecue Alliance cook-off in Elsa, Texas.
I really wanted to do that one. I just didn't feel like the drive. And we've got one closer to home that I'm going to be doing. We'll be going to Buda, which is only about 45 minutes from the house. Miss Sylvia, any idea where you'll be cooking next?
My next competition probably won't be till the end of April, and it'll be a double header, and it's sponsored by the California Barbecue Association. It's called the Golden State Battle 3, and it's going to be up in Hollister, California, which is up north near Gilroy, and it's going to be at an RV park. And so I'm going to do that one, and that's the first for the year.
Man, and I kind of feel for you guys. There aren't very many choices weekend after weekend after weekend the way we have it.
Right.
If you wanted to cook 3 times a month, you'd have to do some serious driving.
And I don't like to go anywhere outside of 500 miles from home. So that's sort of like, yeah.
Oh, I've got a buddy, Kevin Knight. He doesn't want to go 20 miles from the house. And I've got 2 buddies, Kevin Knight and CJ Bean. These guys do not want to drive anywhere. Yeah, 20 miles from the house, and it's outside their radius.
Right.
You would think they'd go further because they have a comp enclosed trailer.
Well, Kevin Knight just sold his.
You gotta drive it.
He still has a trailer, though.
Yes, he does.
I have a trailer and I have a camper. So it's just the idea of making those long drives.
The drive, yeah.
The drives, yeah. And it's wear and tear, and I'm not a young bird now, so it gets rough sometimes. So 500 miles is about it. Now we'll go to Arizona, Nevada, California, and that's about it.
Well, I will tell you, man, I will, at some point, I'm originally from California, but at some point, the wife and I are going to make that trek and come on down there and hang out. We almost had a chance to do the Garlic Festival a couple of years ago, but we instead chose to make it a vacation on the Pacific Coast Highway. So we had a friend that cooked the Garlic Festival that same weekend we were there, but we didn't bother to go. We absolutely didn't even bother to go, man. So one of the questions we had, how do you approach a new item you have not cooked before?
Is it for competition or just in general?
I would, competitions, we tend to know exactly what we're going to cook. If there are no surprises in a competition unless you're on TV and they do a surprise meet. Some of us haven't been that fortunate, unlike Miss Sylvia. All right, some of us, Miss Sylvia, some of us haven't been that fortunate. But at competitions, we tend to know what we're going to cook. So I would think this question refers to at home. How do you approach something that you've never cooked before? I've got a go-to answer.
YouTube.
Google.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, guys and gals, if you're looking for an aardvark recipe, YouTube has it. Somebody has cooked it on YouTube. So that would be the first place I look. Anybody else? How would you approach that?
Well, no, like with the Champions Barbecue Alliance, the pork is a new category for us cooks, and I never cooked pork butt before. And like you say, YouTube it. There's plenty of how-to videos of how to cook pork, and Instagram, and all these barbecue forums. So research.
Yeah.
Research.
Yeah. There's one on Mama and Papa Joe's YouTube channel too. I just thought I'd throw that in there since you left me. Yeah, so I just Miss Sylvie,
Pinterest has some stuff too.
Say again?
Pinterest has some stuff too, and then it's got the links for the YouTube. So it's got a bunch of pictures. Yeah.
Man, I am a Facebook person. I love Facebook. I do everything on Facebook. And when I venture to Instagram, it's an adventure. Pinterest just I don't even know what I do. Pinterest or TikTok, any one of those things. So but man, there are just so many different ways to up your game, whether it be in the backyard or in on the competition circuit. So many different ways. There's no reason why anyone should not know something about anything, if you're really looking for the research. One more question. Sylvie, what did you do before barbecue? We just heard that you retired. What did you do?
I was a pharmacist.
Oh, okay.
And I used to be assistant director at Santa Monica UCLA Medical Center for nearly 12 years. And stressful.
Yeah, oh, is it? I bet.
Glad I'm not in hospital anymore. Yeah. So that was my life.
And you weren't military by any chance, were you?
No, not military at all. I went to pharmacy school at UC San Francisco, got a PharmD degree, and taught for a while at the University of Michigan. And my husband brought me back to California and got jobs at local hospitals and finally at Santa Monica UCLA.
All right, awesome. That's awesome. And this is a question, and I think it's more for Sylvie. Have you ever thought about palletizing your supplies and shipping them to the location you were cooking at? And I've got the biggest problem if that was me. Let's hear from you, Sylvie.
And actually, I've done it before. I've cooked a number of competitions in North Carolina, the Jimmy with the Piggy in Kannapolis, and that's because my husband has family there. And what I do is I ship my meats there, chicken and things like that I buy there, but things like brisket, I have Snake River Farms send it to them. I have items that I can order off of Amazon, and I ship it to my sister-in-law's house. Over time, I've actually accumulated a whole shed of comp supplies just by shipping things from Amazon and places like that.
And for me, while that is a definite path to competitions, it would get expensive. That is where sponsors would really play a role to help cover some of those costs, because I think that would get expensive. in the past, when cooks were chasing the Jack Daniels competition, and when I say chasing is trying to earn an entry into the Jack, they would go to these far off places where there weren't very many cooks, where they might have one cook-off a year that would qualify you for the Jack, i.e. Hawaii or someplace else, and cooks would actually ship their gear to Hawaii for that opportunity to win an entry into the Jack Daniels. So having sponsors would make that very simple. I know Yachty, you guys have got some sponsors. You guys have got your own business, but does sponsorship play a role? Would you like to gain more sponsors? Are you interested in that approach?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It always helps either with travel or, just in, especially when it's a sponsor with product that you use, like those are good to have, because you use your products anyway. And you can, more than anything, that sponsorship helps. It helps both parties because, for example, if it's wood, you can really talk about the product with all honesty and say how good it is. So it's always good to have those sponsors that, like I said, that you're using their products because you're able to advertise for them in an honest way, really, because you are using their products in competition. But yeah, definitely. I mean, yes, it does get expensive to ship stuff. We travel. I've traveled with Fred too many states, and we've been lucky enough in when we've gone to California that we've actually flown in, and we've made friends everywhere where Fred can just call somebody and say, hey, we want to compete in California. Do you have a pit we can borrow? And that even gets, we borrow a pit from somebody and we get our meats shipped in there, or the other products, right, that we fly them in. But yeah, that definitely helps. But because it does get expensive. Mm-hmm.
Marty, are you interested in that?
What was that again? I'm sorry.
Are you interested in sponsorship?
Oh yes, definitely. Like Yachty said, sponsorships always help out, whether it be, for fuel, in product or whatever, you need. Sponsorship is very beneficial to have.
And I absolutely agree, Jackie. You've got a huge sponsor that's so understanding and forward thinking. How has that enabled you to compete over the last few years?
Well, I'll tell you what. You want to know something? I've been very fortunate being out there as a Chupacabra Rub representative. He's opened doors for me. Alton Paris, that is. He's the owner. He's opened so many doors for me, and really couldn't imagine being out there without his blessing. He will ask us to do certain events that are close to his heart, and any other events that we want to do, we just ask him, and he's allowed us to do it. I've been with him for 3 years now, and we use his products. I have them all here if you want to see them. We use them. And also with the kids, I am now representing Eddie Madrano's new line of drums. So I'll be using one of his drums in Concan, or maybe Jordanton, if I get it in time. So yeah, with the drums with Eddie Madrano, he has a barbecue shop in Braunfels. And he just came out with his drums. And then there's Pitmaker. They sponsor us too. We just bought another pit from them, another sniper to put on the trailer. And Andy with Meat Hustler. I'm sure you're familiar with Andy with Meat Hustler.
Yes, he will be on in a few. My
Yeah.
man.
We get all of our competition meats from Andy. I got a great thing going on with each of these brands.
I am telling you, that is awesome. And guys, gals, if you're interested in sponsorship, in gaining sponsors, there's nothing lost in asking. There's nothing lost in reaching out and presenting yourself. I've had the question asked to me several times. What can I do to gain sponsorship? I said, man, that you give them a phone call, you give them, you send them a letter. I've sent many people the letter that I use for sponsorship consideration, and all they can do is say no, and you haven't lost anything. But what really helps, if you're looking at sponsorship, looking to get sponsorship, what really helps is to make sure you've got a bit of a resume already. You've got something that you're able to show that establishment, that agency, that rub producer, that pit producer, that you can do something for them as they're going to do for you. And what is great is there's only so much product you can use. There's only so much product you can use. We give a class, and just about all of the products we use in that class are through our sponsors. But what is good is that we are using those in competitions. So we're not just using sponsors for the heck of it. We just don't accept or request sponsorship or ask for sponsorship for the heck of it. These are things that we are actually using, and it helps. But my point is, you can only use so much product. If you're able to find a sponsor that is willing to help you with the finances, the money that you can place where you need it, whether it be fuel or meat. The hardest sponsorship to come across is meat. I mean, they're far and few in between because meat tends to be a little expensive. But if you're able to get somebody that's going to give you $200, $300 a couple of times a month for an event, it really, really helps to cover those entry fees or to cover your meats or whatever the case might be. So again, guys and gals, don't hesitate, man. Draft up some sort of letter highlighting your accomplishments and send that off. And all they can do is say no, nothing lost, on to the next person. Give that a shot. Give that a shot. Say again? All right, Rita Ramon. This is another one of my favorite ladies on the cook-off circuit. Out of the 3 meats, chicken, ribs, brisket, which one do you worry about the most?
Chicken for me.
Chicken for me as well.
Yeah.
For me, it's different. I do KCBS, so it'll be pork.
Man, I'm with the other ladies. Chicken annoys me. I think the other meats, including pork, for me, the other meats you have a little wiggle room. There's some play in there. With chicken, there's absolutely zero play. One misstep, 3 minutes too long on the grill, your chicken is overcooked, your chicken is dry. 3 minutes early, it's undercooked, and you're DQ'd. So for me, man, chicken is just when my chicken is off of the pit and gone, and I'm happy with it, I will drink a beer. I will drink a beer. If I'm happy, the rest of the cook is going to go fairly smooth, but chicken bothers me. So yes, for me, that's the most difficult. Awesome question, Rita.
So do you try your chicken before you turn in?
Chicken might be one of the pieces that I will. No, not before I turn in. Nah, I don't try it before I turn in. we do 3 chicken halves, and I usually leave one half just in case. It's never happened. And I told the wife, I said, we've done this enough time. I know that there aren't going to be any issues. But just in case something went wrong, she has to come running back for a second half of chicken. We've got that one still sitting on the table. So, no, I do not try it before it goes in. No, I don't think there's much you can do unless it's under salted after it's cooked. Do you guys think there's other things you can do to affect overall taste and flavor once it's cooked?
No, maybe just go heavier on the sauce.
Yeah, you can sauce the heck out of it to cover up any salty taste. You can always add more salt if it's not salty enough. But I think like Sylvie said early on, once that piece of meat, man, is cooked, or once you've started cooking, you've done this so often, you've done this so many times, I don't need to taste it because I know exactly what I'm doing and what the result's going to be. First place, all 3 meats, every single cook-off. You know the deal. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, that's an important thing. I've come across cooks that'll change things at every comp. And I think you've got to take one and just kind of if you're going to have a recipe, be consistent and use it exactly the same way you did it, the time before, especially if you like the results. Because you can't be changing it up all the time like that. You can't, you can't save it after it's cooked. Yeah.
And you ladies, think about this. How many events would you go without a call or without a finish that you expected before you think about changing your recipe? And that change doesn't have to be massive. It could be tweaks.
I go 3.
3?
I go 3, and at that, I would change my injection.
No, I don't have a number. It's just, I have a feel. It's like if something doesn't work out right, there may be a reason for it. Then I'll change something. Maybe I'm in an area where the judges don't like a certain thing, or I'm in another area where people like things that are sweet, vinegar or whatever. So it just depends on, the circumstances surrounding that turn-in.
But I am caught in between. I do not have a specific number, but man, I've got a gut feel that I go with. And 9 times out of 10, there are never wholesale changes. There are minute tweaks. Sometimes it's a little less of something. Sometimes it's removing something completely. And that just turns the switch and it's back to where I expected. So there's no real definitive answer except for you do not change event after event after event, man. There's got to be some body of work that you can look back on to say, okay, all right, I need to do this. And then when you do make a change, you need to make one change and see if that change made a difference. Mm-hmm. If you're changing 3 or 4 things for the same event, how can you tell which one, helped or hurt? It's hard. So be very judicial with your tweaks, your changes. Do them one at a time. Be patient. Guys, this is a game that requires some patience, some understanding. You cannot panic at the first sign of trouble. All right, I am bringing in a guy that many of you know. We all know. All right, if I can get my cursor, there we go. One of my favorite people on the barbecue circuit. My dog, guys and gal, Andy Lugo, the Meat Hustler. If you have not heard of the Meat Hustler, you will want to get to know him after this. What's going on, Andy?
Oh, not a whole lot, man. Just sitting here, enjoying the show.
Man, I appreciate you coming on. Folks, let me tell you. Andy, give us a little background how you got into meat hustling.
So, running Coopers, and then, of course, as a chef.
What is Coopers?
Playing
What
with,
is Coopers? I don't know what Coopers is.
yeah, me neither. Um, just when I left there were so many orders to fulfill, and I couldn't stop, and one thing led to another, and boom, we're still running strong, selling those briskets.
And what you don't know, Andy is a chef. He's a professional chef, and somebody that I think so highly of. A couple of years ago, when the wife and I decided to go to our first World Food Championship, I gave Andy a call, because if you don't know anything about the World Food Championship, it's a competition where the barbecue portion, that's the first day. If you're able to do well in the barbecue portion, it takes you to a day 2, like a final table, where you compete in a final group of 10. And in that group of 10, the menu is more geared towards a chef. I mean, these guys do some of the fanciest things, and I'm not gonna even lie. I'm a ham and cheese sandwich man. I can't pretty up a platter or a plate. So he was one of the first people, and I had met Andy through Cooper's Meat Market and a few other things. So he's one of the first people, and I told Andy, I said, dude, I will get us to the finals on Sunday with the barbecue, and I will turn things over to you on Sunday for the chef portion. And it worked out nicely, man. We got to the finals, and Andy and I went on to cook. I followed his very instructions, helping him out on Sunday, and we were able to finish 5th place overall in the World Food Championships that year. So huge kudos to Andy for that, man. He really made it happen. He really made it happen.
That was fun.
Yes, it absolutely was. It absolutely was. Andy, what do you do for competition cooks?
That I do, or what I do for others?
No, for comp cooks.
So I get there. I try and find the best briskets. You're talking about what I do for other cooks, like get them set up, or what I do?
No, what do you offer competition cooks?
Oh, I'm sorry. The pork butts, chicken thighs, chickens, briskets, ribs, everything that's hard. Steaks, heat.
And are these items comp prepped? Are they ready to go?
They can be. Sometimes they're not, but sometimes they are. There's cooks out there that like to do their own trimming, which is good. But either way, before we send it, we open it up and double check to make sure it's not gashed, so that way they're getting good product. Yeah.
I feel you. And if cooks want to get a hold of you, man, how can they reach you?
Through our Facebook page or through the website, and my number's on there, so they can call me direct. And we try and get everybody's order out ASAP, overnight.
Guys and gals, I'm
especially
here to tell you, he's got some awesome meats. My ribs and brisket from my last San Antonio rodeo came from Andy, and they were money. Got me a grand championship. So you got to make that happen. Hit up Andy if you need anything.
That day, I think we trimmed. It was almost 30 briskets, you and I.
Oh man, that was actually a fun day. I could find a job where I'm paid to trim briskets. I really love trimming briskets. Yeah, I absolutely love trimming briskets. Yeah, absolutely. Man, we appreciate it, Andy. Thanks for stopping by, man.
I appreciate you, CJ, man. You guys have a good night. Jackie, I spoke to him earlier.
All right,
Yeah.
take care.
We're getting our competition mates from for Can with Andy.
All right, make that happen. Yeah, I know he's got you some good stuff.
Yes, well, it all started, gosh, a few years back. We get our briskets from HEB, and when it comes time to prep, you open the package, and there's a big old gash in the middle. Or we open a bag of ribs, and they're stinky. So we're like, no more. So we've been getting our meats from Andy for the past 3 years or so, 3.5 years. Never have a problem. Top quality meats, and they are beautiful Wagyu briskets, and nice straight ribs, chickens, clear skin. The pork butts, he trims the pork butts for us, and unbelievable work. He's outstanding.
Yes, he will send you comp quality trim meats, man, and they're absolutely beautiful. Yeah, they're absolutely beautiful. Guys and gals, we just added Rita Ramon to the panel. Another one of the fantabulous lady cooks here in the state of Texas. She's expected to walk at just about every comp. How you doing, Rita?
Muted.
It's like right there.
Thank you, Clarence, for having me on. Jackie, you're my hero. Marty, bro. Sylvie, I don't know you, but I'm going to start watching your YouTube videos. And Robles, it's nice to meet you.
Likewise.
Man, tell us a little bit about your comp history, Rita.
Oh, my goodness. You know, I've been cooking since the 90s and didn't know.
Wait, since the who?
Since the 90s. But backyard cooking, didn't know anything about competition barbecue until I met Matthias. Of course, Marty and I are cousins removed. So, oh no, we're not. We're cousins. We're like second or third cousins. But I met Matthias, and he is the one who started telling me about competition barbecue. He gave me all kinds of pointers. He was, you know, this is one thing about the barbecue community is that they will help you like nobody else. They will give you information. They'll come and help you. And Matthias did that. And he told me, if you're going to be serious, you need to maybe take a class. And I took your class, CJ. Oh.
Yes, I remember that. That was an absolutely wonderful class. You guys were fun.
I took your class and I learned all kinds of stuff. And just people helping you. They helped me quite a bit. All kinds of people. CJ Bean, you know, everybody's helped me.
I absolutely agree. And you know, when I realized how serious you were, is when you bought that big trailer pit.
Oh yeah. My goodness! I bought that one-man pit.
Yeah. That on that trailer. It was massive, and I realized that you were deadly serious. And you had some of the results to show that. Yeah, you've had some results to show that. So, yes, awesome job. So, hey, where do you plan on cooking next?
When's our next cook-off? I think my next cook-off's in April. We're gonna do an April cook-off, and off the top of my head, I can't even tell you where it's at. Rockport? Oh, that's in May. Hey, but listen, I was going to tell y'all something. I've been listening to everybody, and, you know, we cook by ourselves and everything, but everybody has a helper. My helper is Lisa. CJ, your helper is Alicia. Jackie, your helper is Tim. Marty, I know that Matthias helps you whenever you need help. And I couldn't do a competition without my right hand person right there. My sous chef helped me get stuff, keep my time straight. Dishwasher, just keeping everything organized for me while I concentrate on cooking. And I think we have to give a thumbs up to our right hand people there.
Oh, we all need one. We absolutely all need one. Has to happen. They go very often. They don't get the recognition they deserve. They don't get the kudos. But hey, if my tray is ever late, Lucy's gonna have some explaining to do. She's over here giggling.
That's right. Even if it's for just tray turn in. That
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I've tried to get my wife involved in actual competing, and my advice was, hey, start with beans or something simple. And she's a bit of a social butterfly, so she honestly does not. I don't think she wants to be able to or wants to be forced to focus for 5 minutes. She just want to flutter just all around the campsite, visiting, and I am fine with that. She knows when the important periods are, when she needs to be in camp to help me take care of business, and we get it done, and we get it done successfully. But yes, helpers are an absolute must. An absolute must.
Yeah, because I heard Sylvie say that she's a one-man barbecue. But Sylvie, do you have anybody helping you at all? A sous chef, something? Anybody?
I do. My husband.
There you
He drives. He takes my boxes.
That's right.
He sets up the trailer in the truck.
There you go.
He doesn't do any cooking, but he does all those things that help me.
Exactly.
All right, so we've got a question from John, and I don't understand it totally. John, can you elaborate? Do you guys believe you get a fair shake? And I don't think he's referring to you guys individually. I think he's referring to us cooks, competition cooks. Do we believe we get a fair shake in the comp world? Is there a lot of subjectivity, or there's specific guidelines that protect all of us? So I am going to try to explain what I think John is asking. Do we think that our meats are fairly judged, or are we judged based on individual taste judges' ideas of what barbecue should taste like, of what they expect barbecue should taste like? Oh, my pops cooked with he started his fire with lighter fluid, so I'm used to that little hint of lighter fluid in my barbecue. John, correct me if I'm right. Hit me up in the message if I'm not correct. So, do you think you're fairly judged, or are taste judges so subjective that you don't get a fair shake? Any of you?
Yes and no. I think that we get a fair shake based upon the rules. Everybody gets judged by the same group of judges overall. I do think that there, as you said, Clarence, there are judges who have preconceived ideas of what great barbecue is, or sweet versus whatever, and they put that subjectivity in there. But overall, I think we get a fair shake because it's the anonymity. They don't know who they're judging.
I agree with that. Well, Yadi, you have anything?
Well, I think it's really, how you feel about the judging system that they're using. So if you feel that you're getting fairly judged, then, there's your answer. All sanctioning bodies try to to provide that a fair judging scenario, right? So I think it's just how you feel about it, but I think so. I mean, I think you're judged fairly. It's a little difficult, especially those where it's not a trained judge. It's just random people that go and judge the food. That's where you might feel like, well, maybe they just put whatever, or they really don't know what good barbecue is. But I think for the most part, that sanctioning body tries to keep it as fair as possible with their scoring system.
I think where you get problems too is when they have celebrity judges, like you said, who really don't know what they're judging or how to judge. And then you have to have your meat go to the table with that celebrity judge who has been trained that, average barbecue is blah, 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 and they go strictly by that.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer, John, that man, we're all judged the same. If they're using subjective judging for one trade, they're using subjective judges for the other trade. So while they're instructed not to, unconsciously, it happens, and as long as it's happening for every trade that they judge, then we're all playing on an even field. But I am very confident, man. I feel very good, cook off after cook off, that I'm treated well in terms of judging, taste judging. I'm not always happy with their decisions, but I always feel that they did what they felt was the right thing, and there's no arguing with that. Yeah. A question from CJ Bean. Ladies, if you have a routine that you get used to, you can do it by yourself. Trust me, I know. Oh, it wasn't a question. Guys, hey, don't nobody out there should listen to anything CJ Bean has to say. Right? I think everybody, well, Sylvie doesn't know CJ Bean, but everybody else on this panel knows CJ Bean. And man,
Hey, Clarence, you want to talk about social butterfly? That guy.
Oh yeah.
That guy can't turn his tray in without talking to 20 people all the way up, all the way back.
Yeah, he is. I don't know if I'd use the term butterfly. More of a bat. Yeah, more of a social bat. That works for me. Absolutely. I got a note here. Oh, Monty, man, you are at the airport?
Yes.
Oh man, man, how awesome is that? Guys, see, this is barbecue people. You can count on them. She is still in the airport. So obviously they had some sort of delays and whatnot. But man, thank you so much for hanging out with us from the airport. I know that get old quickly. I hate having the delays and everything else in the airports, but thanks for making this happen even from the airport. How awesome is that? Yeah, how awesome is that? Kudos. We appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate it. Well, I will tell you what.
I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this, so there was no way I'd miss it.
Yes, ma'am. But I will tell you what, we're getting ready to close this thing out, man. Do you guys have anything else to add? Anything you want the people to know? Here's your last opportunity before we shut things down for the night.
I would encourage more women to cook.
Man, well, let me take a couple more minutes. What can we do as promoters, as sanctioning bodies? What can we do to remove that intimidation factor? I know there are more women out there that want to cook, but what can we do? What can people do to remove that intimidation factor that I don't think should be there?
I would say possibly have just like an all women's cook-off, You know, just solely women.
Man, what an awesome idea. What an awesome idea.
I got invited to one. Jackie, you know of one that's coming up, an all women's cook, right? I couldn't make it that weekend. Weren't you the one who invited me to the all women's?
Oh yeah, I couldn't make it to that one either. Michelle Castillo won that one. She's hot. She is bang, wherever she goes, she is winning it. She's hitting the control hard. GC after GC.
I don't know how many teams showed up.
I'm not
How
really
many teams
sure.
showed up?
Maybe 20, 25. I'm not really sure. But yeah, there's other women cooking that are doing extremely well.
And I think that by having us out there and other women seeing us says, hey, if you guys can do it, I can do it too. But we have to be approachable and be able to mentor a lot of these people and to get them going.
Well, not only that, but like a lot of the pits that are coming out now, they're user friendly.
Yeah.
The Traeger, the Rectech, a lot of these newer drums, it's user friendly.
Yes, and
Well,
also
I'll tell you. Go ahead.
getting exposure like this, Clarence, we really appreciate it for you putting a platform like this for just women. I think it was great. Letting the guys know that we're out there. Uh-oh. Sorry, I'm in my camper. And
Okay.
Lisa's cooking.
She's burning something.
She's burning
Yeah.
pizza.
But my thing is, right now, we've got a Chupacabra out there. We've got a Real Valley Meats. Man, wouldn't it be nice? They put on a little 20-team, sponsor a 20-team lady event. I would definitely come and judge with an invite. Let's see if we can make that happen.
That would be an
Let's
awesome
make
idea.
that happen.
I'll talk to the CBA group and see if they're interested.
There you go.
Go along
Yeah.
with it.
I know there are a lot of ladies out there who are cooking that just aren't cooking publicly. Yeah, I know they're out there.
They're out there. Yes.
Yes, they definitely are. But yeah, that was a great way to end this, man. Ladies, once again, I am so thrilled that you were able to be here to hang out with us. Miss Rita, thank you for hanging out last minute, man. We really appreciate it. Ladies, I want to wish you luck as you move forward in whatever your endeavors might be. I know nothing but good things are going to happen. And with that said, man, one last time for you guys to close it out.
I just want to tell Marty, roulette 17 black, baby. Put a 20 on there. And good luck to everybody cooking. I appreciate it, Clarence. And ladies, I admire y'all tremendously.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, guys, let's call this an end, man, and you guys take care. I will see you out there on the competition circuit.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Bye, thanks.
Bye-bye. Thank you guys for watching YouTube. See you later.